I never thought I'd say this out loud. Not to anyone. Not even to myself. But if you're here, and if you've ever loved someone so deeply, so blindly, only to be torn apart from the inside, then maybe you'll understand. Maybe you've been there too. I've been a soldier most of my life. 20 years in. I've served in the dust of Kandahar, in the forests of the Pacific, in places that don't even have names on maps, and in places no soul should have had to come home from. I've seen what war does to men, how it empties them, how it rewires their instincts, makes you jump at a slammed door, sleep with one eye open, trust, no one but the man watching your back. But somehow I trusted my wife more than bullets. We met when I was still in training. She was working part-time at a coffee shop near base. Sweet smile, kind eyes. Didn't flinch when I told her I might be deployed. We got married. Fast military life doesn't give you much time. And when Lily was born, I thought I had everything. A little girl with my eyes and her mama's laugh. She'd grab my finger with her tiny hand and wouldn't let go even in her sleep. I used to whisper to her at night before I left on missions, Daddy'll be back. I promise. You just keep growing. I wasn't always home. Deployments, missions, extra ops, you know how it is. But every time I got the chance, I'd FaceTime, I'd call, I'd send money, I'd write letters and sneak drawings inside for Lily. I worked the most dangerous assignments just so I could send more back home. Danger pay bonuses, hazard allowance, all of it wired back for them. I didn't want them to need anything. Just be safe, be happy, live in a house that didn't leak when it rained, go to schools where Lily could learn and be proud of her last name. And every time I heard my wife's voice on the phone, she'd say, "We're good, honey. Don't worry about us. Just come back safe." And I believed her. I believed her. Then one day, about 6 months before my last return, I noticed something. Not in her words, not even her tone, but in the silence between them. She paused longer before answering, laughed less, cut our call shorter. When I video called, Lily was always happy jumping to the screen, but my wife, she'd pass the phone fast, say she was cooking, cleaning, busy. At first I chalked it up to stress. She's doing this alone. I'm not home. Maybe she's tired. I gave myself every excuse to believe she was okay. But then I started seeing the signs I'd seen 100 times in interrogation rooms. Signs of guilt. She'd avoid eye contact on video, stammer on basic things. And one time she forgot what day it was. Said it was Monday when it was clearly Thursday. That might sound small, but when you've lived your life reading people like maps, you know when something's off. The real crack came when she accidentally sent me a text. It read, "He left already. I'll see you next Saturday." I stared at it for a full minute. My fingers froze above the screen. You ever get that cold feeling in your chest like someone opened a door in your ribcage and let the wind blow in? That was me. I asked her about it. She laughed, said someone asked if I was home. She was just replying to a neighbor. Said it meant nothing. But my gut, it screamed. That's when I reached out to someone I trusted more than anyone outside my blood. My old team buddy, Ryan. Ryan owed me his life from back in Basra. I once pulled him from a burning truck while insurgents were still firing. So, when I asked him to watch over my house, he didn't hesitate. He stayed in town undercover. Didn't tell her. Didn't tell anyone. Just watched. And what he sent me, I'll never forget. Photos. Her. And a man. Tall, fit, tan. Our neighbor. Holding her waist in the driveway, bringing groceries. Letting himself in with a key I didn't give him. And worse, they weren't hiding. They weren't ashamed. I stared at those photos for hours. Didn't eat, didn't sleep, just existed. I thought about the letters I wrote, the medals I earned, the friends I buried, the blood I spilled, all of it, so she could have comfort, so Lily could have light. And this is what I got, a knife to the back held by the person I swore my life to. But I wasn't going to explode, not yet, because I had one reason to stay steady, Lily. I got home earlier than she expected. My CO signed my leave papers 2 days ahead of schedule. No big ceremony, no warning. I didn't tell anyone. I wanted to see it. Raw, unfiltered. I wanted to walk into that house as a husband, not a ghost she could prepare for. It was a quiet Thursday, late afternoon. The air smelled like cut grass and fading sunlight. I walked up the driveway. Same house. Same porch. Same little crack on the third step I kept saying I'd fix. But it didn't feel the same. The front door was unlocked. Inside, the scent hit me first. Vanilla. Sweet. Strong. Like candles lit just before a date. And then, music. Soft jazz from the living room speaker. We never listened to jazz. She came down the stairs, not in sweatpants, not in the robe she used to wear when she cleaned or napped, but in a fitted blouse, hair curled, lipstick fresh, necklace I'd never seen before. She froze when she saw me. "Oh my God," she smiled, ran to me, arms wide like nothing had ever been wrong. "Why didn't you tell me you were coming home?" I held her. Briefly. Politely, but inside me, something coiled. I'd seen this look before. On detainees who thought they could still talk their way out. Lily came running next. That girl, my sunshine. Daddy. She leapt into my arms like her little heart had been waiting on the front steps all month. I held her so tight I thought I'd break both of us. She whispered, "I missed you so much." And right there I knew why I came back. Not for closure, not for revenge, for her. The first night, I couldn't sleep. Every creak in the floor made me flinch. The bed smelled like cologne, not mine. I kept hearing the way she laughed on the phone that night, the way she passed the phone to Lily too quickly. Every room had something off. The furniture had been moved. The guest bathroom had men's razors in the trash. There was a wine glass in the dishwasher, just one. No lipstick mark, but fingerprints, bigger than hers. I asked her if someone had been staying over while I was gone. A friend, a cousin. She shook her head. Just her and Lily. Every day. Every night. Liar. On Saturday, I told her I was heading to the VA for checkups. Instead, I parked a few streets down and waited, just like my buddy Ryan used to do. I watched the house from the rear-view mirror. 2:57 p.m. She stepped out, looked both ways, phone in hand. 4:11 p.m. A man walked up the back gate. I recognized him, the neighbor. Casual, confident. She let him in without a word. I didn't move. Didn't scream. Didn't crash the door like I used to in raids. I just sat, hand gripping the wheel, teeth clenched so tight I tasted blood. But I needed more. I needed truth. So I waited. That night, she crawled into bed like always. Soft hands. "Missed you today," she whispered. I said nothing, because in 3 days, we'd be standing in court. She didn't know it yet, but I was ready. And someone else was about to tell the whole truth. I didn't think I'd tell anyone this, but if you're still listening, then maybe you've been betrayed too. 3 days later, we were in court. Fluorescent lights, hard chairs, cold air that smelled like dust and disappointment. She sat across from me. Flawless makeup, tight bun, designer jacket, lawyer at her side. I almost didn't recognize her. She wasn't the girl I married. She wasn't the mother Lily deserved. She was someone else. Her attorney laid it all out. Mr. Carson has been absent most of their marriage. He volunteered for deployments repeatedly. She had no choice but to handle life alone. She found support from a friend. Nothing romantic. No evidence of adultery. Then, they dropped the bomb. She wants custody. She wants the house. She's entitled to half of the savings. And I said nothing, because I knew what was coming. My buddy Ryan had done his job. He'd followed them, captured pictures, tracked withdrawals, mapped their routines. But still, her lawyer dismissed it. Photos circumstantial, withdrawals. She has access, it's her right. They had rehearsed every answer, polished every lie. Even I started to doubt myself. Maybe I imagined it all. Maybe I really was the ghost they claimed I had become. Then the voice I never expected spoke. Tiny, soft, clear. Can I say something? It was Lily, our daughter, just 5 years old, sitting quietly next to the court-appointed child advocate. The judge looked surprised. You understand what it means to speak here, sweetheart? She nodded, her little hands gripping the chair. She looked at her mom, then turned to the judge and said, Mommy always tells me not to say anything, but the man who gives me candy comes every Saturday night. The room froze. Dead silence, every breath held. She continued. He knocks after dinner. Mom opens the door. She wears her pretty dress. She tells me to stay in my room, not to come out, even if I hear talking or noises. I looked at my ex-wife. She had gone pale, lips parted, eyes wide. Lily went on. They go to Daddy's room. They close the door. Sometimes he stays till morning. And one time, I heard them say they'll sell the house. I think they want Daddy's money. I think Mom doesn't want Daddy to come back. My hands were shaking. Not in rage, not in shock, but because for the first time in this whole nightmare, I didn't feel alone. Lily knew. She always knew. She just didn't know it was wrong. The judge cleared his throat, called for a recess, but it was over. My wife didn't speak another word that day. Not one. Her lawyer packed up quietly. The courtroom emptied, but I sat there, holding Lily's hand, letting her tiny fingers grip mine as tightly as they could. I wanted to cry, but I didn't, because she didn't need to see me break. Not today. Not after what she just did. The court ruled in less than a week. I kept the house, the accounts, the car, and most importantly, Lily. She didn't fight it anymore. Didn't even show up for the final hearing. She left town the next morning. No note. No goodbye. Just silence. The same silence I used to feel in enemy territory. But this time, it was my own home. The days after were the strangest, not painful, not peaceful, just empty. The house creaked differently, like it was adjusting to new truths. I found her perfume in the bathroom cabinet, threw it out, found his shirt folded neatly under a pile of laundry, burned it in the backyard. I didn't need memories with sleeves. Lily didn't ask about her mom. Not once. She stayed close, always holding my hand, asking if I'd be gone again. I told her the truth. No, sweetheart, I'm home now. For good. And she believed me. Because kids, they don't care about the war you fought. They just care you made it back. One night, she crawled into my bed, little feet cold, breath slow. She whispered, "Daddy." Is it bad that I told them I turned to her? Tears in my throat. No, baby. What you did was brave. You told the truth. She pressed her forehead against mine. I just wanted you to stay. God, how do you forgive a world that breaks kids like that? A month later, we moved in with my brother for a while. He had 2 kids, a big backyard, and a porch where the wind didn't whisper betrayal. We built birdhouses, painted rocks, played catch till sunset. Every little thing I missed while dodging bullets and landmines overseas, I finally got to live. One Sunday, I drove to a small town nearby, stopped for gas, and that's when I saw her, across the street, thin, washed out, hair undone, eyes hollow. She saw me, didn't say a word, but I could read it in her face. She lost. Not just the case, not just the money, but everything. Her plan, her lies, her second chance, all of it. I heard later from a neighbor. That man, the one she chose over me, he ran off, took what little she had left, used her, then vanished. I didn't feel satisfaction, or revenge, or triumph, just closure and pity. Some people dig their own graves, and then ask why the world feels cold. Back home, Lily was waiting with cookies she made with Uncle Joe. Daddy, they're a little burnt. I bit into one. Perfectly awful. But I smiled anyway. Best cookie I've ever had. Because it was made with love and no secrets. They say healing isn't loud. It doesn't come with grand speeches, or big moments, or perfect endings. It comes in whispers, in morning light, in burnt cookies, in little shoes by the door. I didn't rebuild my life. Not the way people imagine. There was no revenge body, no dating apps, no dramatic reinvention. What I did was simpler and harder. I slowed down. I started by fixing the fence, the one she always said I never had time for. Then I planted tomatoes with Lily. She said they'd grow sweeter if we talked to them. So every afternoon we told them about our day. Some days I missed my old self, the soldier, the sharp edge, the adrenaline. But most days I was just a dad, learning to braid hair from YouTube, trying not to cry during kindergarten plays, tucking her in like it was a sacred ritual. We didn't talk much about her mother, not because we avoided it, but because Lily didn't ask. She was too busy living. And honestly, so was I. One night, she asked Daddy, "Are you happy?" Now I paused. Not because I didn't know the answer, but because I finally did. Yeah, sweetheart, I think I am. She smiled. Me too. I never wanted revenge. I didn't need her to suffer. Didn't care if the world ever knew what she did. All I wanted was to be okay. And one morning, months later, I woke up and realized I was. The house felt different. Not haunted, not empty, just ours. The coffee tasted warmer, the porch swing creaked softer, and Lily's laughter, God, that laughter, it made everything worth it. If you've been through something like this, I don't have advice. I'm not wiser than you. I just know what it's like to be broken in ways no one sees and to stand back up, not because you're strong, but because someone small needed you to. So here we are, me, Lily, and the life we didn't plan for, but maybe the life we always needed. This story was never meant to be told. It was mine, a scar I learned to live with, a chapter I closed quietly. But if you're still here, maybe you've been through something like this. Maybe you've been betrayed by someone you trusted with everything. I didn't share this for sympathy. I didn't share it to shame anyone. I told it because maybe it helps you feel less alone. I still don't know if what I did was right, if walking away with my daughter, burning the past, starting over, was justice or just survival. But I did it for her and for me. If you've lived through anything like this, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me, did I do the right thing? Would you have done the same? Thank you for listening, for staying, for letting me tell the truth.